People in positions of Christian leadership are expected to uphold high standards of honesty, morality, and ethics. Now, imagine if we said that some of the most revered and famous people in the world have committed atrocities. Take Daystar Television's Joni Lamb as an example. She allegedly deceived her own son Jonathan into marrying Doug Weiss, according to the rumors. The fact that she transferred Doug Weiss into Jonathan's office was shocking enough, but it stunned many more. Tragically, this is not an outlier. One would not anticipate a Christian leader to behave in such a manner. Let me tell you about Bill Matthews. He is the senior pastor of Elk River's Word of Faith Church and Solid Rock Church. Some of the rumors are downright terrifying. Some think Bill Matthews was unfaithful to his son Drew. After that, something unbelievable happened. Bill allegedly advised Drew's wife, Ona Lorena Matthews, to get a divorce from him, and he lied to his son as well. And you know what else? I believe she did. Things took a turn for the worse when Bill Matthews wed his own son's ex-wife. I find it hard to believe that this could occur in a religious setting. After hearing these tales, Joni Lamb's deceit seems like a little thing. In order to decipher this bizarre narrative, let's read it. Drew Matthews and Anna Lorena, his wife, appeared to have a natural chemistry from the start. They had a lovely daughter together, and had a lovely love story. Additionally, they were active members of Drew's dad Bill Matthews's church, Solid Rock. They seemed to be living their lives to the fullest. Drew was even a part of the head of. He wanted to help support his expanding family, so he enlisted in the military. However, things took a sharp turn when Drew's mom fell severely ill and couldn't leave her bed. Unfortunately, nobody was around to help her, since her children had all gone their separate ways to start their own lives. One day, Drew's dad Bill called to see if Anna Lorena could come live with them, so she could help take care of his wife. The arrangement appeared to be a simple solution. Their daughter could visit her grandparents, and Anna could assist Drew's mother. The military-affiliated Drew thought it was a fantastic plan to ensure that Anna wouldn't be lonely while he was away. Without realizing it at the time, this would trigger a series of events that would lead to the demise of Drew's marriage. What started out as an easy request would soon become something considerably more challenging. Unexpectedly, Drew would soon find out that his family's trust was going to be tested in ways he never imagined. I'd like to share with you the story of how my preacher father advised my wife to divorce me, but we still got married anyhow. It bears mentioning that I was enlisted during the time this transpired. Title 10 orders were issued to them in November. It was in December when my mom fell ill. I received a call. Would you mind if your wife and one-year-old daughter moved in to help take care of your mom? My dad wanted to know. She's not well. Since I was and am an excellent student, I believed this was a fantastic plan. Grandma and my daughter could have some quality time together. It would provide my wife a sense of belonging. That is the extent to which I was unaware of its usefulness. In April, as my wife and I were tending to my mother, she passed away. The divorce papers arrived in August. Someone contacted me at the beginning of September to inquire about the possibility of a family gathering. Bill and Lena's relationship was brought up by my sister at that family gathering. He mumbled something about having done it. I was one of many who attempted to dissuade him from seeing my ex. We presented him with all the biblical reasons because he is a preacher. My daughter would be negatively affected, and I felt he was being selfish and uncaring toward his family. So I explained all the reasons why to him. In January, they tied the knot. My dad is a church leader and he married my wife after telling her to divorce me. And that is the short, sweet story of our marriage. In April 2009, Dr. Bill's wife Mary passed away. The news of Bill Matthews's impending remarriage spread like wildfire. On the very same day, he informed a close relative that he was planning to wed Lorena, who was already married to his son Drew. Something awful occurred while Lorena was still Drew's wife, and nobody saw it coming. Drew and Lorena's divorce in August 2009 came just 4 months after Mary passed away. It was soon revealed that Bill Matthews, Drew's father, had actually advised Lorena to end her marriage. Instead of being Drew's rock and guide, this man was advising his wife to divorce him. The treachery was exposed by the tragic and shocking details revealed by Mindy Matthews, the daughter of Dr. Bill Matthews. Based on her statements, it was evident that her father had done more than just abduct her brother's wife. He had also procured the services of a divorce attorney to assist Lorena in her separation from Drew. Bill went above and beyond, as if that weren't terrible enough. Even worse, according to Mindy, Bill is now attempting to abduct his niece Natalia. The ceremony that Bill Matthews and Lorena were married in on January 7, 2010, was officiated by Ed Dufresne, whom Bill refers to as his spiritual father. Most shocking of all is the fact that revered and well-known churchman, Ed Dufresne, failed to perceive any impropriety in this union. It seemed like nobody gave a hoot about the moral and biblical implications of this marriage. By referencing Leviticus 18 and 1 Corinthians 5, which both condemn such relationships, Mindy brought attention to the apparent inconsistency in their actions. How Dr. Bill Matthews persuaded his congregation to approve of such a contentious and ethically dubious union remains an open mystery. Let the questions and answers session begin with "You can't make this stuff up, my dad married my wife." In what ways did they announce their intention to attend worship? Be advised that Bill had everything planned out and had been preparing for months beforehand. Shortly after my mom passed away, he withheld the news of the connection from everyone. He began to address the congregation by outlining everything that God had revealed to him, including the reasons he should marry Lena. Basically, he claimed God told him to preach, so he got up and did it. Advised his congregation of that. The majority of his companions had already departed by that point, and the surviving members were primarily relatives. There are so many cousins, brothers, aunts and uncles, that I'm thinking a family tree or graph would be necessary to explain it all. How some Christians blindly follow their leaders, even when their actions contradict the teachings of the Bible, is one of the most disturbing and shocking aspects of this entire situation. A large number of Dr. Bill Matthews' churchgoers not only attended his wedding to Lorena, his son's ex-wife, but also remained loyal to him as a spiritual leader after the ceremony. Even though there were obvious moral and ethical issues, the churchgoers appeared prepared to disregard the treachery and continue supporting their leader, as if nothing had happened. The hard reality is that many Christians put their pastors' actions and words ahead of the Bible's teachings. The people who listen to pastors speak at their churches have a great deal of influence on them. Here it allowed Bill Matthews to maintain control and pretend like nothing had transpired. Elk River, Minnesota's Solid Rock Church, counts her among its co-pastors. She was formerly married to Drew Matthews. Not only that, her daughter has made her a grandmother as well as a mother. With the marriage of Lorena's granddaughter, Dr. Bill Matthews has become a grandfather and a husband. There are a lot of connections, so many people don't understand how this could happen in a church that preaches morality and values. This story went viral on social media, particularly TikTok, where Drew Matthews documented the shocking betrayal and subsequent issues in a video. A piece by the Roy's Report brought further attention to the scandal and provided Drew with an opportunity to explain his perspective. Drew was quite forthright in his conversation with the Roy's Report. According to him, his dad's church was a cult that had ruined or nearly destroyed his entire family. He was clearly hurt by everything that had transpired, despite the forcefulness of his words. It was obvious that Drew's family had endured much hardship as a result of his father's treachery. Based on what transpired, it became evident that we were part of a group. The fact that I married my wife, despite my dad's warnings that she should leave me, is crucial. The wild thing that popped into my head was from when I was a kid, around the ages of 10 or 12. Our group would gather for prayer. Gathering the misbehaving or disillusioned youths was the primary objective of these prayer gatherings. Cult members pretended to be devout Christians who taught and preached God's word in an effort to blend in with society. They would, however, perform an exorcism-like ritual. It was particularly common practice when dealing with me, as I would be placed on a cot. I must descend. They placed a trash can nearby so that I could dispose of it when the demon escaped me. Following that, a group of 20 to 30 people would form a circle around me. Their actions when they touched me are commonly described as speaking in tongues, so they're merely babbling on in an alien tongue that's meant to lead directly to God. Exclamations such as "We scold the devil," "Please Satan, depart from this child." In their minds, this would continue until they achieved a breakthrough. Everyone would be shouting at me, praying for me, and putting their hands on me for at least half an hour, if not an hour and a half. A sense of dread surfaced as this memory brought up the pain I've been carrying around with me as an adult. It was an unsettling sensation. Feelings of "I need to get away from here" enveloped me. I must depart. I am in danger. People have left notes on this subject on the Roy's Report story, and here are a few of them. Bill Matthews, your ex-daughter-in-law is now your wife, your son is now your ex-wife's partner, and your granddaughter is now your stepdaughter, Jack Bob informs us. The most heinous form of treachery. Furthermore, making an excuse based on "God told me." They are masters of greed and have a cursed brood. They sin continually, they have adulterous eyes, and they prey on the insecure. Matthew 16:14. An excellent illustration of this is Bill Matthews. If that Lifetime movie used this basic plot, even without specifics, and the church kept running in any way, no one would watch it. Linda says, that can't possibly occur in real life. Regardless, he has been present. He comes from a long line of sharp preachers, and his father is a sheepdog. Even though his wife was receptive to his father-in-law's advances, she should still apologize for her actions. It appears that the son's tardiness was caused by his extreme loyalty to another person. You are no longer obligated to show loyalty to your father because he dismantled your nuclear family. Perhaps this is the result of believing in authoritarian leaders from a young age. I see. This self-proclaimed preacher has a firm grasp on God's will, which coincides with his own desires. Snake intelligence is required of humans. For some reason, the church has lost its bearings and direction. It breaks my heart to think about the young girl, granddaughter, stepsister, and stepdaughter. She adds, the state is right to see that he is responsible because he is in charge and giving spiritual advice. I really think it should be illegal for preachers to have romantic relationships with those in their care. I wish this were the case in every state. The fact that he took her into his house demonstrates his complete dominion over her, which he used to abuse and exploit her. He commands and directs her every move. She is under a system where he has the final say, and he said this was God's will. Just as we wouldn't hold kidnapped individuals responsible, we also shouldn't hold her accountable. How this story relates to that theme is that it follows similar patterns of deceit in Christian families, as shown in other high-profile cases. The accusation that Joni Lamb manipulated and lied to her son Jonathan Lamb is one example. People in both stories use their influential positions and trusted family relationships to further their own agendas. Both incidents involved church leaders who violated their duties, which eroded faith in those in charge, and cast doubt on the veracity of religious leaders' claims to moral leadership.